everybody. Today I'm going to be taking a look at a car culture set that I've been dying to take a look at, and I finally have completed the whole thing, which took a while. But this is Modern Classics, and I don't know which Modern Classic it is. I think this is number 4. This is the 2024 set, of course. I believe it's a 2024 set. It's the final set of 2024, right? We did get one in 2023 with the Toyota Altezza, which I have not reviewed that set yet, and I have all but the Corrado. I could review that if there's interest for that. Let me know if you guys want to see that. But it's a year old, and I don't think anybody would be interested to see it. I don't know why I waited so long, but we're going to take a look here. We're, of course, not going to go in order. We're going to go in order to what I think is most interesting. Of course, saving the new models for last, just like I'm doing a Matchbox mainline video. So, of course, the Forester is most interesting to me, but I think the Skyline might be the best casting of the set. Well, the R33 is the best casting. The R33 and the Benz are the best castings, and they just happen to be old castings. The GTR, I think, the 32, I think, is the best new casting here. But, of course, unfortunately, the Silvia and the Forester are the most exciting to me, and they are not new. We're going to start with the Mercedes, so we're not, of course, not going in order. And I'm not going to open the Mercedes because I'm not keeping it. This is kind of disappointing. I love Mercedes. I love older Mercedes. And I hope you guys know that. I'm not like full Japanese car dude. No. I like a lot of different things. Most of which isn't in 1/64 scale. But I love older Mercedes. The 190E is awesome. But it doesn't work in Zamac. It does not work in Zamac. It looks bad. I don't like this release. I have the black one from the 2-pack. That's really all I need. This Zamac one is kind of goofy looking, and I just don't need it. I just don't need it. And that artwork, though, is gorgeous. But I just don't need. I don't need the Zamac. They could have done an equally nice finish in silver. Oh, and the base is Zamac too. Nice. Yeah, not a chase piece. Of course, the Skyline has a chase piece in black, so Zamac's not a chase piece when it comes to car culture. This might be one of the only ones. I think the Brat had a Zamac car culture release too, way back in the early days of car culture. Yeah, so not my thing, and I ended up importing these from Japan because I just couldn't find them in store. I still, the Silvia is the only one that I found in store, which is nice because I couldn't get that one from Japan. But we're going to remove the 190E. That one I'll probably sell off because it just doesn't, it's not right to me to be in Zamac. And I will prefer the black one 100 times over that. Next, the R33. This is in a very subtle Gretty livery. And, oh, I don't have a knife anymore. Oh, you know what? Yes, I do. Oh, well, where is it? Are you kidding me? How do I misplace a razor blade? What? How am I so bad with knives? This is terrible. This one's missing a blade, and my other two are just non-existent. Well, do I really need to save the artwork? I don't think so. I actually have extras of these two on card, so do I really need the artwork? No. I guess my incompetence is actually helping me out in terms of hoarding. So I don't have all this stuff laying around. But I just don't know where my knives keep going. Here is the Gretty R33. Now the paint finish, wow, like did they like stamp the hood with the grainy headlight details? That's what it looks like. It's got like a yellow hue to it, and then of course you can see the texture compared to the roof. I hope that's not what they did, but it is looking like that's what they did, and they got a bunch of debris under there too. There's your side graphic, Gretty, GTR badge, marker light. Headlights look good, GTR. Markers down below. This is like one of Hot Wheels' greatest castings. Just a completely stock R33. Wheels are kind of big, but most Hot Wheels are. Taillights, which are a little off. Nissan GTR Gretty on the rear plate. There's your black trim on the spoiler. Of course, these had adjustable spoilers. Great release, but is this really at least now a $7 car? Is this really worth it? Because this is no better than a mainline. I prefer the mainline in purple. I think I have all of these R33s. All but one or two, maybe. Not that I do like the full Hot Wheels collections anymore, but I grab them when I can because I like the casting. But let's take a look at the 32. This is the Pandem kit. The livery is based on a real car, but it's not the most attractive livery in the world, I will admit. But it is based on a real car, and it's supposedly a GTR, but it promotes Formula Drift. So, is it an all-wheel drive drift car? Is it a rear-wheel drive swap from a GTT? I have no idea. Nor do I really care. Or do they just mislabel it as a GTR? No, it says GTR on the base too. There's drive shafts, so it's still all-wheel drive technically, unless they mess that up as well. Of course, this has a Pandem kit on it. The mainline casting is, well, actually the mainline casting is in premium now too, but it is a stock R32, and now we have a wide body R32, which is nice. We get both worlds. I'm not the biggest fan of aftermarket customization of vehicles. I like my cars as close to stock as possible, which draws some lines when it comes to the Sil 80 because it is all stock parts, but you couldn't buy them like that. There's the Pandem pig on the back there, so let's take a closer look as I just spin it around. There is the Tabasa. Tabasa is the name on the side there. I don't know who that is. Formula Drift window banner there. Rocket Bunny Racing. You got the Hot Wheels logo. I like the Hot Wheels logo in just the white and red. It kind of looks classic, like the classic Hot Wheels. Rocket Bunny Racing on the front lip there. There's a little pig. Work wheels on the side skirt there, which of course they kind of replicated it with the chrome lip. It would be, and the Work likes to do a lot of bronze centers with the chrome lips. Speaking of, I would love for Hot Wheels to do some like actual licensed Workmeister rims. That'd be cool, like how they did the 1552s. Toyo tires, that might be a sponsoring issue because some brands might not want to work with them. Here's the absolute worst part of any wide body kit. The fuel pocket door is just recessed and it looks terrible. The wide body kits are supposed to be super aerodynamic and clean, and then there's that, and it's just kind of defeats the purpose. And it is like a bolt-on rivet-on kit, it looks like. Great casting though. Of course, all the issues stem from the real car, not the Hot Wheels casting. I like the spoiler, the little lip on the back there is pretty clean. Stance is nice. And this is where the larger tires actually work because they do have the same size rims, and they even use the same rims, but it just fits the wide body a little better than the stock car. All right, let's take a look at the Silvia. So the Sil 80, if you didn't know, I'm sure most people know by now, the Sil 80 is a Nissan 180SX with a Silvia front end. There is an alternate called the 1Via, which of course is the Silvia with the 180 front end. Both cars were called the 240 in North America, so I don't think it really works the same way over here, but you can still call it that. And this blue with the gold lace rims is, of course, a reference to Initial D. Tomica did the same thing. The one Initial D did not have a black roof, though, I don't believe. I think the Tomica, well... Yeah, no, I don't think I had a black roof. Can't remember. Did these even have black roofs from the factories? I don't remember. Now I'm confused. I don't know. I'm not a big S chassis person. But I can definitely tell you that there is something seriously off with this casting. It's fat. And it's unfortunate because the guy who did this is like the best designer they have right now. And he did a good job. But I think he did this to fit in line with the mainline 180SX casting. And that casting is awful. It's supposed to be a Type S, which I love the real Type S. I love the aero kit on the Type S, in which they replicated here with the side skirts and the rear bumper. Total Type S. But just the casting's fat. And here, I should get, I mean, the TLV one's skinny, and most people complained about that, but it is definitely more accurate. I mean, it's just a little skinnier than the Hot Wheels, but let me grab the, there, did I say TLV? That's the Tomica Premium. There is a TLV one. Not a TLV Sil80, but it's a 180. And I can show you, like, yeah, look at that hood. And I know Hot Wheels isn't supposed to be true 1/64 scale, but you can see where some of the proportion issues come from. That when you make it bigger than 1/64 scale and fatter, it just doesn't look like the right car. And actually, even a better comparison for the front end, I have Tarmac Works. Here, this might be more fair of a front end comparison. The Tarmac Works S13 Silvia. Of course, not a Type S, although the front bumper here is, or I mean, it wouldn't be a Type S anyway because it didn't exist with the Silvias. This is not a Type S 180. Yeah, so now they have the different front end. The Sil80 here has the OEM Plus front end, which offered the yellow fog lights, which like the Cefiro had too. And that is accurate to Initial D. I'm noticing that the license plate's off-centered in my Tarmac Works. It's kind of annoying, but you can see just the bulkiness of the Hot Wheels Silvia. And if I line up the roof lines to stop in the same spot, the Hot Wheels rear window expands like at a sharper angle. Like it's not as smooth as the TLV one here demonstrates it. I could go on and on. But this is a cool release. Okay, one more complaint because I like to complain. These wheels are god awful. They gotta go. They're so freaking big. Like, look at these. Like, yeah, these are nice. You got the full air passage through them. They're nice. These, they're not. And the tire looks so thick. And the rim isn't enough. And there's no passage through there. It just looks all solid one piece. You know, kind of like, I mean, Tarmac Works is guilty of the same thing, but it's actually, at least it's smaller, so it's not as noticeable. The TLV one actually was able to properly hollow it out. But yeah, it's okay. The decals look nice. 180SX, Sil80 on the plate. I like how they did it like a factory, like the factory Nissan promo photos. We got a weird bubble on the door here. The blue is gorgeous. That metallic is awesome. That's a great color. And I think with a wheel swap, this will look great. But yeah, the wheels definitely drag it down, and the bulkiness of the casting drags it down. I like the mirrors, though. It's nice that actually all three new models here get mirrors. Nice touch, even though they're not realistically sized. And speaking of sized, here's your Silvias together. I'm not saying the Tomica is perfect either, because the wing's a little big and the roof line's a little too small. But yeah, this almost looks like a, just sitting right here at this angle, it looks kind of like a first-gen Eagle Talon or Mitsubishi Eclipse. Just the size and the geometry of the front end here, like I can imagine the pop-ups there. Reminds me of the Eagle Talon first-gen Eclipse, somewhere in there. Now, the Forester. Mr. Forester guy is going to look at the Foresters. Yes. Don't expect that to change to the channel name, because it won't. But coming out at literally the same time as the Tomica Subaru Forester, which I have here because I'm redoing the Tomica video, is the Hot Wheels Subaru Forester, except for the fact that the Hot Wheels is a second gen, Tomica is a first gen. And I know you might not be able to tell the difference because the first gen pre-facelift, or the second gen pre-facelift, looks a lot like the first gen. The first gen never really had a facelift. But, I mean, they're really easy to tell apart from the rear end. Because, like, the trunk was overhauled, taillights were overhauled. This is a STI, it's got an aero kit, can't compare the bumpers. Of course, headlights were definitely overhauled, but it's really hard to tell the difference without putting them side by side. The Hot Wheels casting here is the Forester STI. Never sold in America. This was a Japanese spec only. So for the first generation, the STIs were limited to 900 units. The XT models weren't limited at all, but they were not sold in America. It was Europe, Japan, and Australia only. For the second generation, the Turbo was still limited to Japan only, but America got the STI was limited to Japan only, but America got the Turbo version, XT, the first XT that America got. And then for the third generation, my generation, I of course have the XT, and there was a STI variant of my gen limited to Japan, but they also brought it to Russia for some reason. There's photos of a few of them in Russia. It's not just one of them. There's a few of them in Russia. Like it was sold there, a few. And yeah, so strange. There's promotional for it in Russia, whatever. There's all that lore out there. They continued with they stopped the STI Foresters for the 4th gen, brought it back for the 5th gen, but it was just a trim level and appearance package, almost like the Sport was here in the US. There was no performance to it, no turbo. So the STI really only lived on in the first 3 generations. And here's the 2nd gen pre-facelift from Hot Wheels. There was a post-facelift STI. And before I get too carried away, this is not the first one in 1/64 scale. I don't know where it is, but I have it here somewhere. Oh, it's right here. One second. So the Hot Wheels is actually a little late to the party with doing the 2nd gen Forester because Konami already did it. But you can see, like, these are both pre-facelifts. The Konami one lacks a little bit, and so does the Hot Wheels one, but I think the Hot Wheels is much better than the Konami. Much better than the Konami. Of course, for the post-facelift, the taillights were almost the same shape, but they were like more clear, which were kind of cool looking, but they don't fit the rest of the car. And the tailgate here kind of looks like a Suzuki Aereo hatch, just a bit. Or maybe the Suzuki looks like the Forester, whatever one came first. But yeah, and big issue with the Konami is you can see whoever had this one last tried to tape the door. I have the door, I just can't put it back on there without drilling the thing. They fall off. And my red one lost its door too. Well, I actually didn't lose it. As I said, it's in the bed of my Hot Wheels Silverado there. Or C3500. But here, enough yapping, because I can yap about Foresters all day. And of course confuse myself and then backtrack and then talk about them again. Let's take a look at what we got here. So we got the hood scoop, and I like that they actually... Never mind. I thought there was a black paint accent there for the scoop. There isn't. There's the headlights. Now, I feel like the headlights are just a little too big. Like, they just bump up a little too far, and I think that's also because they put it right on the body line. It should just be a little under the body line. Make it touch the bumper, and I think they'll be a little better looking. Love the STI emblems on the fog light covers, but they're not legible at all. It's just a blob. There's a Subaru badge behind the grill. For a Subaru on the plate, which is a little off. Never mind. I was gonna say something else, but it didn't make any sense. But kind of as they did with the Silvia for like the promotional photos. That's what they would put on there. They'd either put a plate like this that just had the brand or the model on the front of the car, or it would be an American plate. And you got the white marker lights on the side here. Those were removed for the American market, I believe. STI Forester on the door, but you can't make any sense of that. I love that they actually painted the window pillar on the windows here. That's something they don't normally do, and it definitely helps with this release. And then they painted along the top pillar here too, but the pillar here is not right. The A pillar and just where it blends into the roof isn't right, because you can see how the front window here is much bigger than the rear window. You can see where it dips in, and then it's just straight across the back here, and then it bumps up and curls down. That's not right. It should be a little smoother of a transition. I think this angle's a little high. If you were to push that in a little bit, it'd be a little better. Love the wing. The wing looks great on the back there. Nothing on the rear plate, though. STI, Forester, Subaru across the black there. Of course, no blackout paneling on the turbo models because they are top of the line. Taillights, you got your exhaust tip. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a stock second-gen Forester to compare to, which, now that I'm thinking about that, it would be really easy to convert this into a stock one. It would be, like, super easy. Just sand that down, chop the wing off, and just sand down the sharper edges on these skirts, and you could have a stock Forester. Make an LL Bean edition, two-tone. Oh, yeah. But, yeah. I don't know, it's not as terrible as I expected. It was Hot Wheels, so my expectations were already low. The color's nice, at least. Very much, sort of, kind of, well, no, not really accurate. I think this would be more accurate. The impact blue. But I like it. I do like it. It's not, I'm not going to say it's Hot Wheels' best model, because that would be super biased of me to say. It's definitely got its issues. The stance down nice, though, because they do sit lower in the front. I love the look of that. So they got that down. Whoever got that was on point. But yeah, you can see that, that irritates me. How it just bumps up and then it drops down, but then flatlines. That's not right. And I don't know how much of it you can see on the artwork here. It doesn't do that on the artwork. Well, let me wipe the dust off. It doesn't do that. You can see how it's a smoother curve, and then it flatlines. There's no dip. So, I don't know. Yeah, but you can even see the headlights are a little smaller there on the artwork. Yeah, there's my extra. Of course I had to get an extra. But yeah, there you go. That is my opinion of the set, which I think me of everybody might be one. Not to be, what's the word? Arrogant? But I think my opinion of any other reviewer here on YouTube might be the standout, just because I'm very good at not being biased. Of course, I'm going to say I like the Forester because I own one. But I also know the imperfections really well because I know the Foresters. And I think that's what you need from a review. Again, not trying to boost myself up or anything, but I'm just here to tell you the truth of what I can extract from these models. And they're not the best. They could definitely be better. This isn't definitely... I forget the guy's name. This is not the best from his resume, because that Aston Martin, I got to do a review on that. That thing is gorgeous. But I just don't know much about Aston Martins to make that video last longer than 5 minutes. But it is an amazing casting, and I should definitely share it. I'm sure many people share their opinions. I'm sure they're all right because it is a good car. I haven't really had to argue with anybody about that one. But these two, this I don't know enough about. This I know it's perfect, but it's old, nobody cares. These two I think could be better. And that's where I'll leave it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next one. Take care, everybody. Bye for now.